channel, and if you are new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I'm doing a full face of makeup that I bought, but I never use. Doing this video makes me slightly cringe because it's like I think as consumers, we end up doing this a lot. It's a lot of product waste where we see something advertised to us, or we see somebody, in this case, using a makeup product in a video and we go, oh my gosh, I want that, or like, I need that. Or we have friends and family gifting us makeup that we're not necessarily in love with or that we would really use, so it's just kind of hanging around. So I went through my entire makeup collection. I'm in the middle of the decluttering series. We're coming up to an end. If you are new, be sure to subscribe and check out my decluttering playlist. They'll be linked up above and also down below. I have a few more videos of that. And yeah, basically I just went through my entire collection. It was time to clean it out. And I set aside enough products to be able to do a full face of products that I literally have not used. There are a couple in here I've maybe used once or twice, but overall this is basically a first impression video for a crap ton of products. So without further ado, be sure to subscribe to my channel if you aren't yet already. Be sure to turn on the notification bell so you're notified when my videos go live. To be a part of Power Hour, the first hour of my video is live. I'm down in the comments chatting with you guys, so it's like a mini chat room down in there. I'd love to know your thoughts on this video, products that I'm using, if you have any recommendations. Also, if you have video ideas or something that you would like to see from me on my channel, be sure to comment that down below too. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. All I have on is my moisturizer, and let's go ahead and get into some face products. This is the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complexion Primer. It says smoothing, rose hip and argan oil, pore perfecting. This came in like a little kit that also had setting spray and I think something else in it. And I've never used this before, so I'm kind of interested. Interesting. Let's see how this goes on. It seems very, very sticky. And I don't think I needed as much as I put on, so we'll see. It does feel very smoothing and very velvety going onto my skin. I definitely do need some pore perfection in this area right here. That's where all my pores tend to show. In case you are new to my channel, I am somebody that likes to stack primers. Typically, when I do my makeup, I use 3 different primers, which sounds excessive, but I use a pore filling primer, a radiance primer, and then I also use my MAC Strobe cream to add an extra layer of glow. So today I do have some more products to layer. I do have this sample of the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. Basically, it's supposed to be a really hydrating primer. If I can hold on to the information packet. It claims that it is going to plump and moisturize skin with hyaluronic acid, which is always good for people like me with dry skin. Sets in seconds, so makeup can apply quickly. Instantly lightweight skin feels comfortable all day for all skin types and skin tones. Apply to fingertips and smooth over face. Can be used with or in place of moisturizer. So here's a little sample. I kind of think like these little deluxe samples you get from Sephora are such a joke. That's just my opinion. Okay, interesting. I'm not really sure how much to use. Let's see what we get with this. I'm mostly dehydrated around my T-zone area, which is like weird because that's like where most people get oily. But that's just where my skin always feels the tightest. This does feel pretty nice, and it's slightly tacky. Going to go ahead and give that a minute to sink in, and we're gonna move on to brows. I always outline my brows before I go ahead and do anything else. This just helps me see where they should be placed. I mean, 70% it gets covered up, but it's just to give me an idea. Have a spoolie on standby because today I'm using Brow Blade by Urban Decay and it does not have a spoolie on it. So I did do a first impression kind of video comparing this to the Anastasia Brow Wiz. So if you're interested in seeing that, click the link up above and you'll be able to find it. But this pencil is just like too dark for me, so like I've kind of used this once, but today we're gonna give it its own full moment, both brows, using this product. So I'm just gonna outline with the pencil really fast, and I'm using the shade Brunette Betty because I use medium brown in Anastasia, and this was the closest shade in the Urban Decay that matched medium brown from Anastasia. One thing I learned from the first video I did is that this is very, very pigmented, and it also feels very fragile, so I'm using a very light hand, and this is basically it for outlining my brows. It just gives me an idea of where things are gonna go. So now I'm gonna move on to my last priming step, and I already have it on half my face so you can see the difference. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Liquid Base, and this is in the shade Moonstone because my favorite highlighter by Becca is in the shade Moonstone, so I decided to get the liquid base. You can see this is the side that I put it on. I put it all over. I just wanted you to be able to see a difference on how it's just going to bring your skin to that next level and just provide a nice glowy base under your foundation. You could also easily mix this with your foundation. This is something that I've had, but I haven't used a lot. I really got into the habit of using my strobe cream because this didn't mesh well with the foundation I was using at the time. The Clinique even better. This just wasn't working great with that foundation, so I've just been using my strobe cream pretty much, and this got left on the back burner. But we're gonna see how it works with our foundation today. So this is definitely more of a golden tone. And now we look nice and hydrated. This will also look really nice like on your décolleté, on your shoulders, on your arms. So there's definitely multiple ways to use this product. Normally I do my eyes before my face, but today I have to do my foundation first because we're spraying it onto our face. This is a Dior Air Flash. This is in the shade 202. It may be the littlest bit too dark for me. And then I'm also just gonna go around with my sponge to make sure like that's nice and soaked in. My friend gifted this to me because it was too pale for her. So I'm like excited and anxious to test this out and see how it works. I've heard good things about this, but I've also heard a lot of people mix this with other foundations. So I'm interested to see how it performs by itself. So just my friend said that she used this like maybe twice. So you can see it does get pretty messy. It looks like you're probably gonna have to clean this frequently so like the hose or whatever, the hole doesn't get clogged. I don't know how far away to hold this from my face. Okay. This is very light coverage. Wow. So if you really don't want much out of the foundation, I see why people mix this because it's like, where's the coverage, honey? It looks like a really, really nice satiny finish, but the coverage is just not there. So I'll try spraying it even closer. Yeah, this is very, very light coverage because even though I just sprayed in that area, I can still see the discoloration from that broken capillary or whatever it is coming through. Well, yeah, I totally see why people use this as like a foundation topper. Because it is such a beautiful finish. And you can kind of see, this is about maybe 1 to 2 shades too dark for me right now. But you can see the difference. This is like me adding more coverage on this side versus this side that just had the initial spray on it. Okay, so besides getting some foundation in the hairline, that wasn't too terrible. Yeah, it's just very, very light coverage. So if you're somebody like me that needs a little bit more of a heavier coverage, you could end up going through this product really quickly, and the packaging is a little bit messy, but it is such a beautiful, beautiful finish. I definitely want to try this with my normal primers, and perhaps like putting it on top a different foundation. So for concealer, this is probably gonna be bad because this was like such a light, gentle, like soft looking foundation. And now I'm going in with about the most full coverage concealer out there. Tarte Shape Tape, I'm definitely not a stranger to it, but I've stopped using it under my eyes as concealer because it is rather dry. I use it basically for cut creases or halo eyes or anything like that, but today we're gonna use this under our eyes and also on our lids as our eyeshadow base. So I'm gonna see if I can kind of combat that by not using that much product so it doesn't look like super harsh. So I'm just gonna dot some right here because this is typically where we have like the most discoloration, and just kind of go down like that. Put some on the lid. And I'm immediately going to set with powder. Again, this is a powder that isn't exactly new to me. I've used it a few times, but out of the 3 setting powders I have, this is my least favorite because I feel like I get greasy throughout the day using this. It sounds so weird, but it's a Maybelline Fit Me. It's not, I mean, if I'm wearing my makeup for like more than 8 hours, I would not pick this powder because again, you'll need to touch up with it a lot. It just doesn't set everything into place and make it like fully matte like my other setting powders, if that makes sense. All right, so for the super zoom, this set on my face has a concealer and a set, but I just want to show you the difference of my skin that's set and that isn't set. Because this is a foundation powder, it is going to give you a little bit of color, a little bit of coverage. So you can kind of see there's like areas where the foundation isn't completely smooth that like the powder stuck to. It's not noticeable unless you're super close up like this. So I'm definitely interested, and it looks like you can kind of see the difference right here in my forehead. You can see all these lines and wrinkles. The foundation just kind of sunk right into them. Setting with a powder definitely seemed to help. So I definitely think that the Air Flash foundation is better suited as like maybe a foundation topper if like you have like a good base down and you want to mix your foundation, or just like have like a very smooth velvety finish, because the finish of the foundation is really, really nice. It just looks like it sunk instantly into any line or pore I had, even though I did use a pore filling primer. So the setting powder definitely helped with evenness too, because right here you can just see it's still a little bit blotchy looking, but on the side that has the concealer and powder, it's a little bit more cohesive and opaque. Alrighty, so for browns, I just went and filled it in with the pencil. You can see it's like super, super pigmented. You do have to use a really light hand because I feel like if you put any kind of pressure, like it would break. So just be careful, it's very, very fragile. And it filled in really, really well. I don't have any areas really with gapping, but I did notice if I went over a couple spot, like the same spot a couple times, it did start to build up and feel slightly waxy, but I think that's just because this is marketed as a waterproof pencil. So now I figured the part that everyone wants to see is the ink stain sign, because this is what attracted me to it. It's just a felt tip pen with product in it. So you can kind of see that the pen's a little bit lighter and a little bit more red tone than the pencil. This is a part that is like really hard and like you can't forget doing it because you don't want to mess it up. Kind of doing light feathery motions, and I'm gonna give that a second to dry down. You can see I kind of bumped in 2 places. So I just have like the brush that I used to carve out my brows on standby. And then you can just kind of erase it like that. It looks a little wild right now, but like I said, I'm gonna make sure that this is dry, and then I'm gonna go through it with a spoolie to soften it up. So you could just kind of see how this looks. It gives like a more realistic approach to brows if you have brows like me. And you can see like right here, we literally started with nothing and now we have a nice full brow. Y'all, I'm an idiot, okay? Because I do not use cream products. I was just so set in my ways and like trying to set my face. I had this to try. This is actually for fair skin in my skin tone. I think I swatched these, but I've never actually used them on my face, so I'm gonna have to try to incorporate them in a different video. I'm so sorry. It's literally been sitting here because I literally keep forgetting to use it. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and move on to eyes. So two palettes that I have that I've never used before. This is the Tartelette palette by Tarte, and then also the Tarte Graveyard Girl Swamp Queen palette. Bless my husband's heart, because he's absolutely amazing and so supportive of me. He just went into Sephora and got like a bunch of palettes he thought that I would like. And because he got me so many, I just like had too many at once to try out, and these just kind of got pushed to the back burner as new makeup came out, and I feel like that happens to all of us. So this is a Swamp Girl palette. It's pretty neutral. For me, it's pretty basic, but if you're somebody that doesn't like wearing like a lot of makeup or a lot of eyeshadow, this is probably a good palette for you. It has a really warm tone color, and the rest of the palette is kind of neutral, cool tone, which is a little bit weird to me. And it's just kind of odd that there's just like one really dark color too. So to me, this palette seems a little bit off, a little bit odd. But I see what they're going for. Like, you could do this row together, this row together, this row together, and it would be a cohesive look, so you don't have to think too much about it. But for me, I don't know, this palette just doesn't do it for me, and that's kind of why I just haven't reached for it. And then here we have the Tartelette palette, which I've been meaning to use, but just haven't gotten around to. But again, it just seems like the shades in here are like very light. They're cool tone. I love cool tone shadows, but they're just like very, very light looking. It almost, I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but to me, just looking at these matte shadows in the pans, they almost look like they're going to be chalky to work with. And for me, that's another reason why I didn't want to work with it. It just doesn't seem, again, like the color scheme is like, there's just doesn't seem like there's a lot to work with. For me, this is my opinion. I know that there's a lot of people that absolutely love this palette and rave about it. And again, it's just set up for row by row. So I guess we'll give it a go. I mean, we kind of have to. This is the name of the game today. So I'm gonna work with these purpley tones. I'm probably gonna work with this color scheme right through here and do like a purpley eye look. Because I could do brown, but I feel like that's just like too basic. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna use the shade Natural Beauty. Right here, I'm gonna put it in my crease as my transition shade. I'm gonna darken things up with Best Friend right here. And then I'm gonna probably end up deepening the outer corner with Bombshell. And then for the brow bone area, and to blend everything, I'm probably gonna end up using Force of Nature. So right now, that's kind of my game plan. There are some shimmer shades in here, so I could reach into that for like an inner corner or a lid highlight. Let's see where things go. Okay, this is already not applying evenly. Maybe I'm just used to working with different shadows, but Tarte's like not exactly like the cheapest brand out there. I would already say that the Morphe shadows are better than this. It's just weird how this is applying, and it's just applying patchy. Don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing Tarte as a brand. I actually really, really like their other eyeshadow palettes. I love their blushes. I love their contour. I love their highlights. Like, there's so many things about this brand that I love. I love their skincare. But this palette, like just first impression off the bat, I don't think it's gonna be my favorite. All right, this isn't the worst eyeshadow I've used, but it's also just not the best. I mean, it's like, it's okay. I just want to show you guys there's just a lot of kick up. So it is a little bit messier of a palette, which it depends on the formulation, because sometimes you get palettes that look messy in the pan, but you don't get a ton of fallout on your eye. And even though I was kicking off the extra eyeshadow, you saw I was still getting a lot of fallout from shadows. So in my opinion, there's just better formulated shadows out there for the color story that I used. I would recommend the Marvelous Mauves by Dose of Colors over this if you want like more cool tone pinky purpley looks. I feel like a couple of years ago, like maybe like 5 years ago or something, this would have been considered like a really excellent and great palette. But I feel like there's been so many, like the way that we are in cosmetics right now, formulation, there's just so many better eyeshadows out there. And that's not to say like all of Tarte's eyeshadows are like this. I really do want to try their new palette, the one with the sea turtle on it. It looks beautiful. Because I do know that this is an older palette, so I'm sure that Tarte shadows now are definitely formulated a lot better than this. So I really wouldn't recommend this palette. I don't see myself like ever reaching for it again. Okay, so for the middle of my eye look, I'm going into the Swamp Girl palette. I'm going to take Sassy Bun and put that on the center. I may layer a little bit of Sippy Sippy on the inner and outer corner for the halo eye. And then for the inner corner, I'm probably going to go in with this top shade, SFS, and maybe Big Baby. So this is kind of what we're looking for or working with today. Oh my goodness, gracious. Let's continue. Again, there's quite a bit of fallout with this shade. Once I get a base layer down, I'm gonna try wetting my brush with some Vicks Plus to see if that helps. Because it is a really, really pretty shimmer. Like, I can't deny that. It's like really, really pretty. So this is the difference with wetting my brush after I picked up the shadow. And you can see I did add that dark glitter shade Sippy Sippy. And there was some fallout. So I'm just gonna take some powder and kind of wipe this away afterwards. But I'm still really impressed with this shadow. Like, I thought I would like the Tartelette palette the most and not really care for the Swamp Girl palette, but I do have this new Physicians formula. This is their Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner and Serum in Ultra Black. This was recommended to me as a dupe for Kat Von D's tattoo liner. So if you have any suggestions for a dupe, let me know. I definitely like a brush. I don't like felt tip, and I like super pigmented. So we'll see how this works. Definitely super black. Okay, this isn't bad. It's a little bit on the liquidy side. It looks like it is feathering a teensy bit. I think that if you really wanted to do like a black liner or like really have your liner stand out, first of all, you need to make sure this dries, because I feel like if I were to open my eye all the way, it would transfer. And it looks like you may have to do 2 to 3 layers to get like a super pigmented, like deep dark black. I'm not sure if you can kind of see just like all the fallout that's all over my face. This could have been easily fixed if I hadn't done my foundation first. This is why I don't like doing my foundation first. So I'm gonna pick up some translucent powder with a brush and try to brush it away, and we can move on. Actually, before we do that, while I'm zoomed in, I'm gonna do my lashes. I do have a new mascara to try. This was sent to me by Influencer. Basically, you sign up for free and they send you products for free to test out in the mail. You're not obligated to like post on YouTube or anything about it. It's just, they just send you stuff to test out and you rate the products. So I got packaged from Honest Beauty, and this is their extreme length mascara and lash primer. So I haven't used this yet. I've been saving it for this video. I'm pretty stuck on the mascaras that I like. So this is the packaging. It's pretty big. And you can see it directs you to the primer and mascara. So I'm super excited. It's been a hot minute since I've used a lash primer. And then also for the lower lash line, I just use that dark purple and then the transition shade and the gold shadow on there. So not anything super fancy. This is like the cutest, tiniest little brush. This seems like it's really gonna hug the lashes. Okay, that's pretty well coated in that primer. Let's see how the mascara is, and that just like flaked into my eyeball. That's fun. So the mascara one is like this. It's like one of those plastic spiky looking guys. I feel like this brush is like it's like not strong enough. So I feel like it's not really doing a good job of like coating my lashes how I would. I wish that this wasn't so like, I feel like it's like super flexible and wiggly. I wish it was more stiff so I could get to my lashes easier. Like I just feel like it's getting like the base really well, but then the rest of the length I'm struggling to coat. I mean, I don't think it did amazing thing for my lashes. My other drugstore mascaras perform a little bit better than this. So it's not gonna be like a new, like instant, like wow, my lashes look amazing. It does okay at bottom lash application. Again, the mascaras I already have, I just feel like they work better. So this isn't terrible, but I wouldn't say it's amazing. This next product I have is the Anastasia Contour Kit. When I did get this at like TJ Maxx. However, they did not have it for fair to light skin. So this is definitely too dark for me. We're definitely gonna be going in with a lighter hand, but I'm really interested because this is a pretty cool toned shade. So I think this is what I'm gonna be using for contour slash bronzing. And we'll see how this goes. Because even this, I feel like, yeah, that's way too dark for my skin tone. Wow, okay. That's a highlight shade. So we'll see if this one shade works out for bronzing slash contouring. Pretty notice. I'm just gonna go in with a really big fluffy brush. Definitely make sure you get the excess off. Moment of truth. Okay, this looks like it's not gonna be terrible for my skin tone. It's pretty red looking, but then again, not my right shade. I do like how this is applying. It's like applying really nicely. It looks pretty harsh on camera, but in person it looks a lot softer. I know that may sound like crazy to say, but it is definitely softer looking in person. It's pretty pigmented stuff, but it does seem to blend nicely, so that's a huge plus. So today we're just gonna look bronzy. We're not really gonna be contouring. I definitely got distracted by this contour, so I forgot to check in with my lashes. I feel like this one that I didn't use a primer on, my lashes lengthen like that. I feel like the primer kind of caused my lashes to clump together a little bit more. I had an easier time applying this, but it's still not gonna replace any of my already favorite mascaras. It's just okay. So for blushes, I have two colors that I don't really wear. I have this pink color, which does not go with this look, and I also have this color from Ulta, which is in the shade Afterglow. I do like this. I just never reach for it because I have like two other blushes I use all the time. This is in the shade Fantastic. It came in a pack, so that's why I have it. So this is gonna have to be saved for another day. I'm gonna lightly go in with this Afterglow shade, and we're almost done. Ugh, it's so pink. I'm not really much of a blush person. I like really muted, like brownie, rose-colored blushes. Oh, it's just making me cringe. Okay, sure. We have that on, so that can go ahead and be done with. This is going in the trash because it's also expired. For highlight, I have the Urban Decay and Kristen Leanne highlighting palette. I reached for this once and I wasn't super impressed because I'm somebody that likes a very blinding highlight, like Ofra Glazed Donut. I barely touch my finger in there, so you can just kind of see the difference. The Ofra one, very blinding. This one does look nice, however. So yeah, I just am used to super blinding and not more natural wearable highlights. The one complaint I have with Urban Decay doing these highlighter palettes, it's nice for makeup kit purposes to have this all in one and not be separate, but for me, the only one I can use is the one in the middle because even this one on the end has a gray cast on it if I look straight on, so it's too dark for me. This is too dark. Of course, you can use them for eyelid shades, you can use them for other purposes, but for me, I just found it not practical. and it is quite the powdery palette. It is a really, really nice highlight. It's pretty metallic looking, but I'm just so used to like the ones that I use. I don't think that this is terrible by any means. I do think it's like really, really pretty. I just like my other combo that I use better. I'm just being extremely picky here, by the way. And if you are interested in this palette, I think it is on sale, like on Sephora, Ulta, Urban Decay's website. So try to check that out. It's kind of interesting, all the powder products I'm using today that I bought and never used are very, very powdery. So not terrible. I kind of want to set my face and then go on top of the second layer of this to have it be a little bit more shabam. It is really, really pretty though. Can't deny that. Here I have the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Liners. These are brand new to me. I haven't really had a chance to use these yet. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go with the purple one for today to put on my waterline just for funsies. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, set my face, and then be back for lips. I did end up, so I just got like lipstick on me. I did end up going back after I set my face with my MAC Vicks Plus. I went in with the highlight, and I do like it a lot more because like it was still like a little bit wet when I layered it on. That's like a really good way to like amp up your highlight, is to apply it right after you apply your setting spray. And I actually really, really, really like how this highlight turned out now. So I'm loving it. I do wish that the eyeliner I put on was like a little bit more opaque. I feel like it's a little bit sheer once it's on the waterline. I'm just used to like the super pigmentation of like the Urban Decay 24/7 Glide On liners. Those are amazing. But in case you were curious, here is the neon liners swatched. I don't know why I'm struggling to talk right now. This pink one technically isn't eye safe because it's a lip liner, but the rest are the eyeliners. So I think that it's a good affordable option if you're looking to have like some fun pops of color into your makeup. So for lips, I just want to talk about lip products really fast because I was swatching on my hand to kind of see what would go best with this look. And I do have some drugstore dupes. We have drugstore options. All right, it may not look like it, but I'm going to double check. So here I have this shade Rosé by Tarte. This is a Tarte's lip paint. I really do like the formulations of these. They're really, really nice. And the drugstore dupe for it is this CoverGirl Melting Pout in the shade Ballerina. My only thing with the CoverGirl one is that it just smells like way too sweet in my opinion. So you can see that it's a pretty close match, off just slightly. And then here I have the Tarteist lip paint in the shade Birthday Suit, which I'm obsessed with. Another good shade. And in my opinion, a really good drugstore dupe, again, is the CoverGirl Melting Pot in the shade Current Nude. So right there. So right there, you can kind of see how these colors go together. I thought that was pretty cool. I still really have no idea which one I want to put on my lip. I think today I'm going to go ahead and go with Ballerina, which is this one right here. It's a little bit of a pinky nude. I think it will work great with what we have going on. For me, lip products is definitely something that I buy that I don't ever use in my decluttering series. Again, link down below if you haven't seen it. I declutter over 50 lipsticks. I've really narrowed my collection down. I could get rid of more, but I'm like, meh, what if I need them for something, right? So I do have this trio from Morphe for lip products. I'm doing a separate video on all three products, but today I'm just gonna go ahead and reach for the lip liner because it's still pretty new. This is in the shade Love Bite. The applicator on these CoverGirl ones is also really messy. This is another item I got through Influencer. These aren't the most pigmented. The Tarteist ones are definitely a lot more pigmented. And these ones don't necessarily dry it down solidly, neither do the Tarteist ones, so they will move around throughout the day, so keep that in mind. you guys have to let me know about these lashes because for me, I think that they're super dramatic because they're really long in length. I would like these a lot and probably wear them a lot more if like a fourth of the length was gone. If they were like a little bit shorter, I would find them more wearable because I do like the style of them. I do like the wispiness and airiness of them. I just feel like they're super, super long. So let me know in the comments down below, is it just me? Do you think that they're super dramatic and too long too? I would like to know your thoughts because it's so easy to think something on ourselves. And I'd like to know what you guys think. I know that there are people that wear super dramatic lashes like for an everyday look. And I like my lashes to be more everyday. I really love the Ardell Wispies. They're like perfect, more natural everyday wear. So these are just a little bit too much for me. Even when I do dramatic looks, it's rare if I want to reach for these. I do like them otherwise. So they last really long, they stay in place. I think that they're beautiful. I just wish that they were a little bit shorter. And that's also how I feel about the Demi G's that I have from Coco Lashes as well. So let me know. We are finally at the end of this super long road, and surprisingly, I don't hate the makeup look today. I think that the eyes are fine. I just wish the shadow was, like I said, like the palette's older. I know it launched quite a few years ago. So I think that formulation has probably improved significantly. I really don't hate it. I thought I was not gonna like this at all, but I really do. I think the skin looks nice. I think the contour shade worked out really well for me. My only complaint is with the foundation, even setting it, I'm having issues with it sinking into my lines still. This is the very first fine line I got. I remember when I went for my very first facial when I was 22, she's like, you're getting a line right there. And I was like, oh. But yeah, this, most 99.9% of foundations that I wear, I never noticed this line. So otherwise, I feel like it looks pretty good. Around the nostrils is a little bit questionable, but I feel like other than that, it doesn't look terrible. Again, some of the lines and stuff, it still sunk into. So as far as foundation is concerned, I want to give it another shot and layer it on top of another foundation to have, because it really does have like a really nice, pretty finish. But by itself, if you are like me and have fine lines, I'd stay away from it, using it on its own. Also, if you have a lot to cover up, if you have discoloration, acne, anything like that, or any kind of uneven skin tone, you're really gonna have to layer this on, and maybe that's why it's kind of sinking into my lines, because I really had to put a lot of it on. If you have a pretty even skin tone and you just want something to give you like that airbrush, like flawless, like even everything out, I think the foundation would be really great for you. That's just my thoughts on it. Have any of you tried the Air Flash? Let me know in the comments down below. If you guys have tried any of the products I used in today's videos, I want to know your thoughts and opinions on it because I love discussing makeup. That's why I am here, to help teach and have you guys learn stuff, but I also want to hear your input and hear your experiences as well. So be sure while I'm here, turn on the notification bell for Power Hour, the first hour of my video. I will be live in the comments chatting back and forth with you, so it can be like a little, you know, throwback to AIM, a live chat in the comment section. So if you'd like to be a part of that, be sure to turn the notification bell on, and of course, make sure you're subscribed. As far as primer goes, I threw the Urban Decay one in the trash. I just don't think it's like the kind of primer that will work great for me. This I'm gonna give us another go by itself to see. That's the tricky part about doing first impressions or full face of products, is that you don't know which product is causing what. So I kind of want to give this a second chance, although I don't think I'm gonna like it either and it will end up in the trash. This, I still really like this product a lot. You can see I still have like this much in the bottle left, and it's starting to get warmer outside, so I'm definitely gonna be utilizing this more on my body because it just doesn't work well with the Clinique foundation, which is the foundation that I have to use up for now. Again, also shout out to the MAC Strobe Cream. I've had this for ages, and I keep it like this because if you store it this way, it gets really messy and tends to leak out of the squeezy bottle. So having it stored like this, I have literally this much product left in here too. So a little bit goes a long ways with these. They last a long time. This one is definitely, I think, more expensive than the Strobe Cream. It's a little bit thicker, a little bit more oilier, so keep that in mind. I'm like going so into depth. I need to wrap this up. Concealer, I like the Shape Tape. I definitely think like using light little dots helped me like it a little bit more. My under eye doesn't feel as crepey as it used to when I was using it all the time. That's just my thoughts on it. For setting powder, the Fit Me, like I said, it works really, really nice and really, really beautifully at first. Like everything looks nice. It kind of, because it has that color to it, it kind of brightens up the under eye area. You can use it to cut under here and it will just brighten things up, and it does look nice. It's a really nice powder. But like I said, if I'm doing a full day, like 8+ hours, I do start to get really shiny wearing that powder, probably because it is a foundation loose powder. So you will have to touch up with it throughout the day. That's the only downside of it. What else am I wearing on my face? I do really like the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I do prefer Anastasia, my brow wiz. I prefer the coloring of that and the texture of that pencil over the brow blade. I don't think brow blade is terrible though. It's really, really nice, super pigmented. I definitely like the ink stain. I would love to buy that separately and keep on keeping on with my brow wiz. What else? I kind of covered the shadows, the eyeliner. I do like a lot. I'm excited to play more with that. Things that I put in my pile that I'm sending off. I have the contour kit just because it's not my skin tone, and I thought if I was going to start doing clients it'd be something good to have, but I don't see that happening in the near future, so I'm definitely sending that off to a friend that is a working MUA, so hopefully she can utilize that. The Tartelette palette and the Swamp Queen palette, even though the look turned out decently, I didn't like it enough to keep it in my collection, so those are going to go too. The cream contour I'm saving for a different video. The lip color I think looks really nice with this makeup look. The highlighter, I ended up liking it. The blush, I threw away. I'm not a huge fan of that color anyways. I don't think I'm forgetting anything else. I do know my nose looks a little bit orangey from the contour palette. If I was doing my regular makeup, it wouldn't look that color. But yeah, let me know in the comments below, what content would you like to see from me next? Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do have my beauty room tour coming and my makeup collection video coming. So again, be sure to subscribe so you're not missing out on my content. And I will see you in the next one. Bye everyone.